Hey, what's up, fellas? I'm your lusty female fan, StevealiciousTech, here with the LG V20, their flagship from 2016, with some unique features, including that secondary display. But how does it hold up in 2020? We'll find out today on this edition of StevealiciousTech. We're back, and as always, thank you so much to all the new subscribers, almost at 400 as of the taping of this video on our road to 1,000. If you like new tech, new phones and old phones, go ahead and give that subscribe button a tussle. It certainly means a lot to me. So the V20, lots to love here, and one of the last smartphones, the major flagship ones that you could get with a removable back, and we'll talk about that in just a few moments. But there were a couple of unique things about this phone that still give it some slight appeal in 2020. And the first one is that secondary display, which functions as your always on display when the screen is off, which is quite nice. But let's go ahead and power the phone on. We'll go ahead and unlock. And you'll see right away what I use it for, as it's saved there. But we'll scroll through. So you can get your name up there. You could type in whatever, and you can have that be right at the top, which is nice. It's just nice and snappy and responsive. We'll get the utility bar there, which we'll talk about in just a moment. That's what I use it for every day. You got that, which is recently used apps, which we'll cycle through based on what's recently used. What a shock. And you have your little settings tab here, which is unique, which is nice. Let me tell you something. When you need the settings app, sometimes you got to fumble. I don't keep it on my front page from my Android devices. So you got to fumble through which folder did I put it in, which launcher, whatever. It's nice to have it right at the top there. You need to change the setting, bam, it's there, and you're done with it. But let's talk about that utility bar there. So instead of having to scroll through up and down on the side of the volume portion of the phone, having to see, well, am I in media sound? Am I in system notification sound? Am I in ringtone? No. Just go ahead right at the top, and you can cycle through. Vibrate, silent. You got it all right there at one touch. Wi-Fi, same thing. On, off, searching for networks, go ahead and hit it. You have it all right at one touch. Flashlight, this is great. Don't have to pull down any sort of notification shade, lock it, do anything from the lock screen. No. Go ahead and hit it. You got your flashlight on, off as you need it. Same thing with Bluetooth. And the feature that I like the most is that screenshot button. Fantastic. Out of the way. It's great. You don't have to worry about whatever combination you got to hit to hold it. Go ahead and tap it. You could draw on the screen, do what you need to. You could do extended scroll because the screen's a little bit bigger. Takes care of it. Love having that always on hand right at the top of the display. Nice IPS panel on it as well. LCD, yes, but 2K LCD, which is quite nice, 5.7 inches. And the thing that I like about the design of the phone is that, yes, it has a little bit of bezel going on there, especially with the secondary display, creating quite a bit of forehead and quite a bit of chin. But they use the extra space wisely. So the phone itself, even though it's like a flat pancake of a device in your hand, it's relatively thin, which makes it easier to hold. It doesn't feel like a big bulky device, even though it is. So the internal space is used efficiently, which is quite nice. Now, the feature that you would buy this phone for, because you can get these pretty cheap, $100 gets you a perfectly nice example. One of the features that you would buy this phone for in 2020, and it's still good, and it still sounds fantastic, is that quad hi-fi DAC. With all these smartphones and all these devices pulling out the headphone jack, LG doubled down on the headphone jack and give you the quad DAC. And I like the fact in current LG devices, by the way, that they're bringing it back. Because there was a while there where it got a little dicey, which I think it was either the V30 or maybe the V35. Only the international version had the quad DAC and the US version didn't. It was kind of a goofy thing. But I think on the V60, they brought it back across the board, which is nice. Because I'm going to tell you something. I don't care what you're listening to. 2020, you plug headphones into this, you're getting a quality audio experience. Your ears will thank you. Whether you're listening to YouTube, good bass, you get some adjustments that you can make on the sound, which is good. It comes up with a little app when you plug it in that you could turn on the hi-fi DAC and you can adjust your audio settings there, which is really nice. YouTube, like good bass, good range. The highs are good. It's just a quality experience that you don't get on a lot of devices, even today with headphone jacks. So it's nice to see. Absolutely. Do yourself a favor. If you're even in the market, maybe it's a secondary device, a backup device, something you just want with a headphone jack that you bring to the gym, put Spotify on it or something. Still useful for that for sure, and it's going to sound fantastic. Now, the other thing, we go to the back of the device. Cameras, listen, nothing to write home about. The one thing that I will talk about, though, they got the two lenses, right? The two cameras, and they have these two dots over here, which are the laser autofocus that they have. We can use a little autofocus. There we go. Laser autofocus on the device. Good light, you're going to get reasonable images. It's not going to compete against the big-time devices from 2020, but with good outside natural light, you're going to get a decent image. Now, the one thing that LG did, and they sold out and did this early on, and I'll give them credit. When everybody was doing their second lens as the telephoto lens, LG said, no. The second lens is going to be a wide-angle lens. And people gave them a hard time about that. And they were so right that it came to the point where last year, when Google finally added a second lens in 2019, finally, and they went telephoto, people went nuts on them. Because they said, we'd rather have the wide angle. So LG was right about that. So they did wide angle on the back, and they also had a wide angle selfie cam, which was excellent on the G6. But wide angle was the way to go, and LG was one of the pioneers of, that second camera is going to be there, and it's going to be a wide angle lens. So not bad there. The one thing that's really cool is that if you're going to have a removable back and removable batteries, I think this is the implementation. If anybody ever goes back to it on a large scale on a flagship device, which is possible, you never know. Things that were out of fashion could always come back into fashion. It happens all the time. If you were to go back to this, I think this is the implementation. Because when you pull some of these devices, the plastic backs or even the metal ones, when you're looking for whatever the groove is and you're pulling it up and it feels like you're breaking the back of the phone, it's just not a premium experience. This thing, it almost feels like it's spring-loaded. You go ahead and you hit that little button on the side here, and it opens up like one of those RFID mechanical wallets, those metal wallets. And it's just an overall nice experience. Now, 3,200 milliamp hour battery, which it's good that it has a removable battery. Maybe mine aged poorly. It's not a battery beast. So, I mean, for cheap now, you can pick them up for $10. I bought another one. I'm going to test it. But it was great that you had the option. Carry it around, have it in your bag with you, swap it out. Listen, it's got fast charge too. USB-C charging. Quite nice. 18 watt, I believe, fast charging. So it charges up nicely. But sometimes you don't even want to wait for that. Pop it out, new battery in, and you're good to go for your evening or whatever it is that you have going on. So, overall, and then you got the micro SD card slot, your SIM tray, and that's what you have inside the device. And then the thing that you get with these devices a lot of times when you do that is that, I mean, I understand why makers went away from it. I mean, in addition to wanting the wireless charging and wanting kind of a unibody design, it does feel more premium because whenever you're taking something off and putting it back on a bunch of times, it doesn't quite line up always fantastic. You feel that separation there. It doesn't feel as premium as some of the other devices. I mean, it is, you got the aluminum trim and the glass display, and that's all well and good, but it doesn't beat the premium hold in the hand of the glass sandwiches. As disappointing as that is. But overall, that's what it is. The one thing, listen, let me know what you think, what you guys' experience has been in the comment section below. Because for whatever reason, this has a Snapdragon 820. For whatever reason, the 808 Snapdragon and the 820 Snapdragon and the 821, the 820 series, the one that was in the Galaxy S7, I never had any luck with. After a while, after one update, they'd start to lag. They didn't age nearly as well as the 35 and the 45. Now, I understand they're a little older, but I'll tell you what, I have devices with my 801 Snapdragon in it, and I feel a lot snappier than these. It's not a lag machine. You can get through things okay, but you will notice a little difference. You will notice a hiccup sometimes right when you're starting an app for the first time. I don't know if it's RAM management. This has got 4 gigs of RAM. So at the time, it wasn't a slouch with RAM. I don't know what it is, but for whatever reason, let me know below if you guys had similar problems with that generation of Snapdragons. And the thing that's going to kill this is software updates. This got one major update of Android. So it's the perfect lead out from our video from the other day talking about the Razer Phone 2. One update. Android 7 to Android 8. And the kicker is that Korea got an update to Android 9 that they didn't release globally. They said they might, they said they would, they didn't. So while you spent flagship money, you got one update, and that's got to be frustrating to LG customers. And we just had that video the other day talking about updates, and then you had the OnePlus Nord come out and say, in their presentation, as a selling point, hey, we're giving you at least 2 major updates of Android, and that's in a $400 device. So I think that's going to be the trend. Hopefully, people start saying, hey, when you're telling me all these specs, tell me how long you're going to support it. Because a phone like this, with these specs, that flagship pricing, top tier, deserve more than one update of Android. If you're still using your V20, if you're interested in using the V20, go ahead and leave a comment down in the section below. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe. Jeez, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Stevealicious day.